first thing I do is drink a glass of water, a full glass of water. I don't know why I thought that was a very healthy thing to do, but I've been doing that for a long time. Check my Fitbit app to see how long I slept and the quality of my sleep. If we had to choose one among the three or prioritize one over the three, I would choose integrity, because integrity, dictates how you conduct your life or your activities in this world. You could be passionate, you could be loyal, but if you have no integrity, it does not really mean anything. People who would watch this would know that I'm connected with Miss Earth pageant. So the first advocacy I really got very involved in was the one of environmental protection. I'm driven. I'm also quite persistent. And on a personal side, I'd like to think I'm unselfish. Coincidentally, I woke up at about 5:30 because my daughter from Paris was calling me on FaceTime. So she was the first one I talked to this morning. On a personal level, I felt I was making a difference when I was in a position to start helping other people, both family and friends that were in need. And I'm able to help them, in my own little way, financially or otherwise. My father passed away when I was 17 years old. I was the second in the family. So you can imagine, we're 8 in the family. So my 6 other siblings were all young. In fact, the youngest was about 3 or 4 years old. My elder brother got married shortly. I felt I had to step up as not father of the family, but I guess as the one who was looking after the younger kids. Not so much financially, but more guiding them. Helping them with their studies. My first job, ironically, is with the company that just recently lost its franchise, ABS-CBN. From school, I was hired as a staff assistant to the vice president for television sometime in 1971. I never forget those things because, you always have to go back to your past. I remember that time, I think the minimum wage was about 250 or a little more. And I was offered a salary of 400, which at that time I thought was really pretty big. Stocks. My first big investment, the first purchase was really a house. I was not one of the, rich kids who inherited the house from their parents. So I had to save for a house. Took a while, but that was my very first big purchase or investment. Easy to, convince people that is not so. Why? Number one, here at the Philippine Stock Exchange, we launched this digital program for local small investors, which is called PSE, which enables local small investors to get allocation and subscribe to IPOs. And believe it or not, this particular platform, we have more than 40,000 subscribers in such a short period. So obviously, we're reaching out even to the OFWs in the Middle East and other countries. So that's one way to disprove that investing is for the rich only. Secondly, the phenomenon that we've seen this year, at least up to the first quarter, retail investors used to comprise only about 18% of the volume of the market. The market has not only doubled in volume, for the first quarter this year compared to last year, but in spite of that doubling in volume, the share of the retail investors went up from 18.21% only in 2019 to 43.33% for the first quarter. So obviously, there are many small retail investors that are now investing in the markets. Travel. Visit my daughter and granddaughters in Paris. This was a trip I used to do twice a year prior to the pandemic. I don't have one advice. I have, all related advice. Number one is for investors, got to learn how to save. You have to learn how to put something aside for a rainy day. Second, where do you save? Do you save in a bank which pays barely any interest? Or do you invest in equities which has proven to be higher yielding investment, over the years? Okay. So I think the answer is very clear. You invest in equities. Now, when you invest in equities, of course, you're new. I would advise a new investor to first invest in mutual funds or UITFs. Learn from the market experts who manage these funds. Don't try to dive into the market right away without experience or knowledge. As you make money in your investment in mutual funds or UITF, at the same time, you're learning about investments. And at some point in time, after a few months or years, you could probably now start handling your own investment. And the most important advice I have for first-time investors, it's for the long term. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Don't listen to people who give you tips on what to buy, where to put your money, okay? Just be very, very aware and conscious that it's a long-term journey. And you have to be investing in quality products.